So my recent video that I posted a couple days ago has 757 views about the new Skate 4 game. And I want to go through today and talk about some of these comments because we didn't really hit the nail on the head in the video, unfortunately, but you guys brought up a lot of really good points in the video and we can kind of expand on it. So we're going to be talking about Skate 4 today, guys. And if you want some more context for today's video, make sure to go back and watch my recent video. But we're just talking about Skate 4. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage to show you guys because I'm not sponsored by EA. This is not a sponsored video, but I did say in the comment section here, because I brought it up in the video, that I used to be a player council member. I was invited by EA to sit in the Zoom calls with developers, with a bunch of other players, and talk about the game directly to the developers, to their faces, and give them feedback. And I did that for a couple of years, and it was really constructive, I felt like, at least. I'm pretty happy with the overall experience. It was a good time, good dudes. And the reason why I left is EA, they don't let you work with other skateboarding games, so it's really kind of strange that that's even the case, because they pulled me from Skater XL and Session when I was already doing advertisements for those two games when they came out to help them out. So the fact that they say they don't allow you to work with competitors is kind of just BS to me a little bit, but it is what it is. I've waited 15 years for Skate 4 and I'm so effing bummed it's turning out like this. Yep, I'm 30 now and everything about the future sucks. I mean, people are pretty upset and pessimistic with this game, which, I mean, it's kind of like the modern day social media. It seems people are negative, but there's a reason for this. And I mean, if the game was what people expected, if it was Skate 4, if they even called it Skate 4 and went that full route, I don't think these comments would be popping up. Doesn't anybody remember this just from 2018? This was when Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal, which was their free-to-play Diablo game.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile, which everybody will get to play. And hopefully,
and I know the game is actually going to be really successful, probably really big, because everybody does have a cell phone. Like, they are right with this, but it's just not what we're looking for. But it brings me back to my point. People are saying, why is the game looking this way? Why is the game doing this instead of this? Well, to tell you the truth, it's because the game has to run on this. And yes, cell phones are powerful these days, but if you have, you know, your $3,000 gaming PC or your Xbox Series X or your PS5, unfortunately, your hardware is going to be limited to whatever can run on a cell phone, because the game has to run on a cell phone too. And yes, they're going to optimize it for all different systems, but so I really wish they didn't go the mobile game route, because it really is the limiting factor, I feel like, to this game. But that being said, there's still hope, because this is what Blizzard did after the announcement of Diablo Immortal. Since they were working on Diablo Immortal, they actually already had the base and they were working on enough stuff there to put together another game. Like, Diablo 4 was actually in development while they announced Diablo Immortal, and they decided not to announce it because of the blowback. So I'm seeing the same thing here. Skate is getting such big blowback from this. Why don't they just take what they're making and release Skate 4? And I can already see the comments. People are gonna be like, oh, they can't do that because of blah, 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 blah. Listen, if EA wants to make billion gajillion dollars, release this game, put it out there for the world for a couple of years, let it do well, and then take all of this stuff that you've been working on and make Skate 4 and release that for $80. And then you have two games that are doing well. I can guarantee you that if they did that, that game would do so well. Like, just look at Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is selling an amazing amount of copies. And I mean, the phrase "it's just a beta" has lost all its meaning after the early 2010s. Before mid 2010s, you could say that it would just actually mean something, because the game often would turn out different. Now we're reaching a point where it's just an alpha. I really agree with this, and I just think it's losing all of its meaning, because I think that what we're seeing is pretty close to what we're going to be getting. There's a reason why Saints Row wasn't called Saints Row 4, and now there's going to be a reason why Skate wasn't called Skate 4. They really cannot call this game Skate 4 because fans understand that this is not Skate 4. It's a new direction. It's taking the series into a new direction, and the service model makes it kind of stand on its own. So Skate being just Skate, it makes sense for what this game is, kind of like what Diablo Immortal is. But that being said, I still think Skate 4 should be a thing. I still think it should be a thing. This isn't a true skate game anymore. No story, no offline mode, no real skaters, no respect for the culture, just an AI camera bot, cartoon visuals, cash grab shop charging $5 per graphic. The soul has gone, replaced by predatory monetization. What once stood for skateboarding now feels like Fortnite clone with loot boxes. It's dead on arrival. A lot of these things I agree with. Everything here, we don't have a story, don't know offline mode, no real skaters. I do think that the game will kind of have a story in the sense that every few months there might be like kind of an evolution of the map to like a new theme, and there might be a reason for it changing and stuff. So it's kind of like Fortnite in a sense that where there's like events happening. And I keep saying Fortnite because it's the most popular kind of 100-player lobby type game like this. This is very similar. You know, you're on a giant map with 150 people, but I feel like the story will be very similar to that, just an online kind of story where you're kind of all contributing to the same deal. No real skaters. I think that this is something that they're going to be selling. Like, I mean, I cannot imagine them not doing this, but that being said, like if they sell a skater in the store though, doesn't that just mean their character creation isn't good enough to make that character yourself? Like, I mean, I'm sure that if they sold Nigel Houston though, they would come with a bunch of his graphics. It would look cool. Some of the profits might go to him, I guess. I hope. That's the one thing I'm actually worried about, is that if they actually do add these companies to the games, like skateboards and stuff, I hope that these companies are aware of what EA is doing, and I hope they're getting their cut, because EA is going to be making millions of dollars off of their brand names. I do think if some of the transactions go to the companies and they're just like printing money for Almost and different board companies and Flip and stuff, I think that's kind of cool, but who really knows? I don't think that's the case, honestly. 2007 to 2010, they churned out 3 mostly great skate games, 2 being the best in my opinion. They had an innovative control scheme, a lot of awesome real-life skaters on board, brands abandoned for 15 years come back to make an inferior free-to-play microtransaction infested product, not doing anything people have been asking for. In fact, doing the exact opposite. Such a letdown seeing how they went about it. I actually got really excited when they announced it back in 2020. I was very excited too, and I still am excited, and I'm hoping and hopeful that's going to change. But I do think that these videos are helpful, because when I make these kinds of videos, people reach out to me in DMs, like other council members, people reach out, that other YouTubers, and like, thank you for making this. This is how I feel too, and it's kind of validating to see people that also make content and they're struggling with this kind of same feeling and struggling to put it out there, because nobody wants to tank the damage. Nobody wants to be that guy that looks like a dick on YouTube. The fact that this game is a cash-grabbing multiplayer experience is what gives it a chance of development to begin with, sad but true. Like, this game probably never would have came out if they couldn't do it this way. This is kind of why I wanted to actually do well, even if it's a predatory free-to-play model. I think that if it does well, I think there still is that chance that Skate 4 comes out, or they just expand on it and just keep working on it and adding stuff that realistic players want at least a little bit. Such a bummer. You would think the gameplay, graphics, physics, and controls would evolve to be next gen from a multi-billion-dollar company in 2020, from a company in 2025, but somehow it's less complex than Skate 3 from 2010, bruh. So one positive that I will say about the graphics is that it lets them focus on performance. I'm not sure how it actually is on console with frame rate and stuff, but on PC, I'm seeing like 200 frames per second in this game. So it actually runs super smooth. One of the smoothest games I've seen. I'm not sure what else we should read here. Stoke Inside. Yo, Stoke, I watched his clip actually in the video. Appreciate the love. I've been pretty surprised by the response to my videos. I hope it gives full credence that there's a realistic style player base that wants those features dove into, and skate culture represented well. Pro Circuit has taken some of those features farther than any other game. Slappies, transitions he's mentioning. So I'll leave a link again to his video if you like, because I don't have, footage to show off to you guys, but I think my footage would look similar to his because he does tricks like me, and he's right. Like, I mean, the transition, skateboarding, the slappies, the things that you can do in Skate is better than most other games that we have currently. This is the take I've been trying to tell people, and I got called a hater, and it's only the pre-alpha, bro. Like, yeah, it should be a lot farther along the way to being complete than it is right now, if they're planning to release it this year. I mean, I agree. So like, I don't think it's a good idea to attack people for their opinions. Some people might have really bad opinions, including me in this video. So like, I mean, if you don't agree, I definitely leave a comment down below, and I want to hear your opinion, because I think when I make these videos, I like to envision that me and you and all of us, we're just kind of sitting down at the skate park chatting with each other, because we're all just skaters, most of us, and there's people that maybe don't skateboard, but I just feel like we're all just that kind of community sitting around talking. And I don't think any of us are that serious. We just want to see the same kind of passion that we've had for, the original Skate series be put into the next games. It doesn't seem like they're really making it for us, which it does suck. Maybe we have to move on, but I don't think that's the case. Bouncing ideas off each other like this, it's probably the most constructive thing. And this is kind of what the player council was like when I was with EA. This is what it felt like. I've been a playtester too, and the map is horrible in my opinion, just feels dead, spots are trash. What do you guys think about the map? The original map that they had in the playtest, I mentioned this in a comment, but I actually liked the original map better. The map is a lot bigger now. That's one thing. It's much bigger. It's much more polished in a way, but the old map was like San Francisco. You could bomb hills, do crazy stuff. The new one is just very flat. It's almost like a hamburger. Like you start off on the bottom patty. There's like a burger. You can climb up to the next level. There's like lettuce and tomato and more bun, but it just feels like the map is a giant hamburger and there's no hills really happening between them. Like there are hills, but there's just not the ones that were in the original map. Nothing will beat Retta yelling at you. I like that one too. That was funny. This game somehow looks worse than Skate 3 to me. I hate how they went Fortnite direction with art style. Yeah, like I mean, if you look at Fortnite too, and the skins that they have in the game and the skins that we've been seeing in this game, like it seems like the base characters are kind of just generic. But if you look at Fortnite and just think of all of the different character models they have, you're going to see just straight up like Peter Griffin from Fortnite. They're definitely going to do that. Like, I mean, why wouldn't they do that? If they did that, I would buy it. Not gonna lie. If they added Peter Griffin in the same art style or Bart Simpson in the same art style, which that would be cool. So I'm getting a little bit excited here, a little bit, just thinking of all these things I want to buy in the store. But at the same time, it's like, I really wish my brain wasn't working this way. Will it make the money? Yes? No? If the answer is yes, that is a pretty likely scenario. They're going to implement the video editor and chat later to have an excuse for a patch and create engagement. This is how the world goes, apparently. That's a good point. Like a lot of people they're pointing out that in my last video, I pointed out there's no chat, there's no keyframes and stuff. And people are saying, oh, they're gonna add those, don't worry. And it does make sense to kind of take, certain things out of the game and show off only a limited amount of stuff until the game releases. I don't think this is the kind of game that they're gonna drop and everything's gonna be there on day one. I think that they're gonna slowly keep adding stuff to keep the ball kind of rolling. That's just good for their bottom line. And is it good for us? I don't know. I don't really know. If EA is happy with the money they make from this game, maybe there's a chance to keep the servers alive. Maybe there's a chance they make Skate 4. And that's kind of what I said in my last video. Maybe it's okay for them to appeal to the Fortnite audience, because if they are satisfied with the money they make from this game, and if they do reach their goal with this, then maybe they can focus more on the people that have been around since day one a little bit more. Because I think if the game doesn't do well, I don't think there's any chance at all. Skate 3 also had the flying missions where you had to glide with spread eagle through way before Fortnite was even a thought. True. So there was flying missions in Skate where you would just bail through stuff. And the Hall of Meat was a big one too, right? Where you would jump from different locations or bail and try to get like a huge score. Play tested it for 30 hours and feel completely done with it. Oh well. Yeah, like I mean, I played it when I first got into the very first play test a couple of years back. I played the first night I played for like 24 hours. I just sat there forever. Definitely leave a comment down below, guys, if you have any comments on today's video. Honestly, just to start a conversation, and I hope that they take this feedback and take it into consideration, because it's a big deal. And I think that they have the base to release Skate 4 if they wanted to. I think they would make a ton of money if they did that, just like Diablo did. This might be a little bit more of a controversial video because I think I'm kind of opening up a little bit more than my last one. Let me know. I'm not sure. I just want to envision that we're sitting around at a skate park talking to each other, and that's kind of what we are doing. We're just a bunch of skaters chatting, and it doesn't mean that we're all right, but I do think that it's worth listening to. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.